It's been a long week, team. At the moment we're doing report writing at school, which always kind of leaves me a little bit brain dead and incredibly frazzled. My girls at school have had a lot of assessments on, like literally every single one of my science classes has an assessment either this week or next week, which means a whole bunch of marking is coming my way. So I'm going to give myself a pass for not being able to count to 9. Yeah. Hello again, team. It's Jess or JashiiCorrin, and welcome back for my week 23 plan with me. Today I'm going to be setting up for the week of the 3rd through to the 9th, I think, of July. But before we get into that, as per usual, we're going to have a look at how this week is going. So as you'll remember from my last weekly plan with me, for this week I went with these kind of horizontal boxes for each day of the week. There's a section for my doodles, which as per usual aren't filled in yet, and then a section to write down my events and tasks in the middle here. I've actually really been enjoying this layout, and I've actually been filling it in, which is quite nice. Kind of a nice change to what was happening last week when you last saw it, where this was actually quite empty and I filled most of it out on the Saturday, Sunday. For this week, I've actually been filling it in as I go, which has kept me in so much better shape when it comes to actually getting things done. I'm feeling productive. If you watched my June plan with me, you'll know that for June I'm going to be doing Dutch doors for the entire of the month, and I'm going to be trying my hand at daily logging. A little while ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe it was last week, I got a question about why I choose to do weekly logs rather than daily logs. And after giving my answer to that question, I decided actually I want to go in and try doing daily logging again. I think being able to get a productive week out of either daily logging or weekly logging would be good for me getting good variation in my journal in general. So as you'll probably know, Friday is the last day of this month, so Saturday and Sunday are actually the 1st and 2nd of June. But I didn't think about that when I actually went and folded out all of my Dutch doors. So I've left myself enough room in here for the full 30 days of June. So I think what I'm going to do is actually do my daily logging both here and on my current weekly. Mostly just because I like the aesthetic of a full spread, but also because I don't really want to waste pages, and I've already got some stuff set up in the back of my journal for an end of year review, so I don't really need to save any pages for that. As you can see, I've already gone in with some washi tape on this page, but I'm going to go and put some washi tape on the next few ones as well, so that I'm set up for the rest of the week. Our first question for today comes from Daphne, who asks, how did you get into teaching? What do you love best about being a teacher? And what do you wish could be better? In terms of getting into teaching, I kind of always had an inkling that I wanted to be a teacher. When I was at high school, I certainly was having some musings about being a teacher at least. But it wasn't until my last year of university that I really decided that that was what I wanted to pursue. And the reason that was is that when I was doing my one of my last papers, it was called Science Communication or Communication in Science or something, we had a guest speaker come to talk to us from the education faculty at our university. And she was pitching to us this new course that they were doing, which was a Masters of Teaching and Learning. And I thought it sounded really interesting and sounded like a really good way to get into the teaching profession. So I applied for that and got in, which was pretty good considering the qualification that I have, my Bachelor of Science. To actually go into a regular teaching diploma, you needed to have a minor in another subject, and I didn't have that. So I was pretty lucky to get into the Masters, I felt. Also during that year, and for about a year and a bit before that, I'd been doing online tutoring. So that kind of gave me a taste tester of what teaching was kind of like. I mean, I know tutoring and teaching aren't the same thing. And I was an online tutor, so that kind of even more removes itself from the actual teaching profession. But that was kind of my little introduction to teaching and whether I was going to like it, and I found it really enjoyable. I just really like working with students. I like being able to be part of their learning journey. And so that probably answers your second question, what I like most about teaching is just being able to interact with students. Interacting with people in general, actually. I like getting to know people and, building relationships and all of that kind of stuff. What do I wish could be better? Now, I'm not sure how you wanted me to interpret this question, like, be better about my teaching or be better about the teaching profession. So I might leave that question for now. If you wouldn't mind giving me a little more clarification on what you mean, otherwise I'm just going to end up rambling for a whole bunch of time about all of the possibilities of what you did mean. But thank you for your questions, I do appreciate them. Just let me know what you meant by that last one and I'll answer it in next week's video. So for the washi I've put down here, I want them to complement each other but not be the same. So I've got this banner running across the top here, which has got the dotted pattern, but this one's the burgundy and then this one's the blue. And then so I have burgundy and blue on all of my pages. I've got the blue here with the burgundy and the blue here with the burgundy. So a similar idea will happen on this page, where I've got this cubic pattern running across here, and then on this one I will end up having the cubic pattern in the burgundy. Now what I'm going to do is go and rule up the dividing lines. You can see that I've got a black line here on each of these pages, and that just marks out where my Dutch door is folded. Our second question comes from Crazy Cara YT, which says, I noticed a Year 9 meeting on your planner. Are you a teacher? Do you have any teacher spreads? I could totally use some. When I'm back to teaching, that is. Now, past Jess probably should have planned this video better and answered that question first, because I feel like I kind of gave away the answer. Yes, I am a teacher. In terms of teaching spreads though, one of my favorite ones is my term planner, where I write down just kind of a small caption of what that lesson's going to be about. So down the side here we have the days of the week, and then each of these is numbered for each of my 6 periods. Across the top we have the week numbers. So for instance, this is term 1, week 7, and then Monday period 1 through 6, Tuesday 1 through 6, etc. I do have a video on this one in particular. It is a little bit old though, so if you do go check that out, please excuse the kind of, I think people described it as like weird carnival music. I thought it was fun, but I don't think people felt that it matched my video style. Yeah. Judgment-free zone, please. I was thinking about doing an updated video on that one, just because I feel like I could do a better job explaining it now. But if you wanted to go check that one out, there is a link to it in the cards. Another teaching-related spread I have is the ones in my back of journal pages. So these were my topic planners for the start of the year. As you can see, some of them didn't get used very well. Some of them I did end up filling out completely, but they probably could have been utilized better. I do like the way they look, and I think if I used them properly they would have been quite helpful, but as you can see that didn't happen. In terms of my dailies here, I'm going to go in with my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen as per usual and write out the headers for each day. And it's only when I got to this part that I realized, that's not going to take me to the end of next week. I was kind of thinking like, oh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even then it wouldn't have taken me far enough, so I don't know why I thought that was enough. Alrighty, I'm going to go put some more washi tape in. Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I need to go washi tape this one up. I also have a sneaking suspicion that my journal, in this section at least, by the end of the month, is going to be very chunky, because all of this washi tape is getting laid down in pretty much the same place. And then when I come to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will continue this kind of, circle washi? This kind of pattern across the page in blue. Scatterbrain weekly spread. These are actually dailies. I can't think straight. It's really hard to deal with that. So I've got my headings, I've got my washi tape, I've got my dividing lines. Well, at least I've got my headings here. I don't have my headings here or here. And I don't have a dividing line there. Okay. Ooh, gosh. This is really tiring. I'm just so out of it at the moment. But I persevere. That wasn't black enough. That's black. There we go. Washi and dividing lines in for the week. Back to headings. So before I get back into that, I probably could have planned it better so that these were evenly spaced. I now have a gap on every second one because of where I've put my washi tape. But I don't actually think it bothers me that much. As I mentioned in my monthly plan with me, I'm kind of enjoying the juxtaposition of the really precise and particular patterns of my washi tape, and then the more kind of scribbly free-formness that I have for my titles. And I know for some people that doesn't look scribbly or free-form at all, but compared to what I usually do, ruled lines, pencil first, very precise, all of that stuff, this is me getting loose with things. So I'm going to go back in and throw down my headings for the remaining pages, and then I'll be back to tell you guys a little bit more about how I intend to use these daily logs. While I'm doing this, our next question comes from Purani, who asks, what is your favorite setup this year? Oof, that is tricky. Alrighty, favorite setup. Well, my favorite month as a whole, like monthly setup and all of the layouts that go with it, that would probably have to be February, where I did my ocean theme, where I got to use my oxide inks when I was doing all of the panels on the side. So that was these ones here, yeah. So February, monthly, all of the other stuff. If you guys have been here a while, you've already seen this. If you haven't seen it, there's a plan with me linked in the cards above. My favorite layout, like one page or double page spread, that would have to be... That would probably actually have to be my I Am and Doodle page from April. See if I can find that. Oof. So that would probably have to be this spread here. 1, because I got to practice my lettering and I love doing that. 2, I got to practice my doodling and I love doing that. But also I think that this one in particular, my I Am page, is going to be just a nice reminder that I am a lot more than I let my inner voice tell me I am. In terms of a favorite weekly, favorite weekly. My favorite weekly would probably have to be one of the ones that I had back in March, and that would be this one here. And I know that it looks really simple and kind of plain, but this was the first month that I got to use my Finetech metallic watercolor paints, so getting to use those was really exciting. So I really like the little elements of gold here. I also just kind of like that this one is simple. It was what I needed at the time, and it's filled out to a pretty okay extent. I got to use more of that Aztec style font that's become one of my favorites, and it served its purpose well. So that would probably have to be my favorite weekly layout for this year. Alrighty team, I know I haven't actually filled in my headings for this page or this one, but I'm starting to get really pressed for time tonight, and given the whole report writing season thing, I really need to proofread my reports before tomorrow's deadline. I do, however, want to explain how I'm intending on using these ones. So, along with just being a daily checklist kind of thing like I usually do, I'm intending on breaking these into sections. I just don't know how big I want those sections yet, thus I'm not drawing it in. But I'm going to be having a section for my daily doodle, probably down the bottom, maybe, haven't thought this through very well. I'm going to have a section for some kind of monthly review, where each day you review something from this first half of the year. I know that Boho Berry usually puts out a challenge for this in June. I had a go at her one last year, but if you guys know of any other mid-year review prompt lists that they have for June, or any month really, please do throw them in the comments below because I'll be really interested to check those out. Because I've also been really enjoying my 2 lines a day spread from this month, I'm going to want to include that somewhere on this as well. So that would probably mean I need to cut these into 4 sections. So 1 for my events and to-do list, 1 for my daily doodle, 1 for the mid-year review challenge that I'm going to do, once I find it, and 1 for my 2 lines a day. I know this layout was a little bit more simple than usual, but thank you for watching, and if you did like today's video, feel free to go check out another one. Until next time, bye!